Hey, what's going on, vets? Markel here. I want to take you through a couple of cities that I'm going through right here, starting with Poblado. But I want to talk about emergency care. This is a question that I got, and I don't think a lot of veterans understand how emergency care works when you're in the U.S. and when you're in U.S. territory, okay? So let's start with the basics, okay? Anytime that you go to a VA hospital, to an appointment, or to a clinic, one of the first things they're going to ask you when you check in or when you use the kiosk, I don't know if they're still using the kiosk or not, I haven't been there in a while, but they're going to ask you about your health insurance. They want to know, do you have Medicare, do you have TRICARE, or do you have other insurance outside of the Department of Veterans Affairs? The reason why they ask you that is because whoever your insurer is, other than the Department of Veterans Affairs, they're going to get billed first on whatever it is. Then the VA picks up whatever's left over, okay? So some of you guys have TRICARE as well as Medicare and other insurance, and then some of you guys just have Medicare and VA. Now, there are some of you veterans who have nothing but the Department of Veterans Affairs, okay? Now, let's say that there's an emergency, all right? Now, unbeknownst to a lot of people, anytime there's an emergency, all right? Anytime there's an emergency, you are rated 50% or higher. When you go to an emergency room, and you can go to any hospital, listen to me carefully, any hospital emergency room, regardless of where you are in the U.S. or U.S. territory, okay, there will not be a bill. Here's how you can here's how you can understand what I'm saying. Call 1-800-827-1000 or call whatever clinic or hospital that you go to for care and ask them about emergency care, especially for those of you who are 50% or higher. When you are 50% or higher, there is no bill. You have 72 hours to contact the VA and let them know you're at an emergency room, okay? Because a lot of times they're going to check you into the hospital. And if they check you in, the VA wants the opportunity to come pick you up. They're going to send an ambulance to come pick you up because it is more cost efficient for them to take care of you in their emergency room than it is for you to be in another hospital's emergency room. Okay? So I want to make sure everybody is clear and understand how emergency services work. You can go to any hospital. Listen to what I'm saying. Any hospital emergency room, any hospital in the U.S. or U.S. territory, doesn't matter. You can go to any of them. 50% or above, there should not be a bill. Now, if you are below 50%, and this is a service-connected situation, right? Whatever you go into the emergency room for, it is service-connected. You should not get a bill for it. Okay, and you can go to any emergency room at an actual hospital. The reason why I'm focusing in on hospitals is because the Department of Veterans Affairs does not recognize these little clinics, these little pop-up clinics that you can go to for care for emergencies. Like, I think it's like urgent care, CVS. You go to those and it's supposed to be an emergency, the VA is not going to want to pick up the bill. I'm just being honest with you. They're not going to want to pick up the bill. Now, if there should be a emergency room in every small town in America. Now, I know there's probably some that may not have one, and you may have to drive 30, 40 minutes away to get to one. If you can make it there, do what you got to do. I mean, if you got to go there, it's a true emergency, and you got to go to that place, you got to do what you got to do. But for purposes of billing, I'm just explaining to you the billing. When it comes to billing, you want to go to an actual hospital. You go to urgent care, you're going to have a fight on your hand. You definitely going to have a fight on your hand because they're not going to want to pay that bill. They're going to tell you, hey, you should have went to an emergency room, a hospital emergency room that's in your town. So I'm just making you guys aware of that, all right? So I want to reiterate this once again. When there is a true emergency, right? Regardless of where you are, regardless of where that VA is located, because some of you guys are in small towns, you're far away from a VA, there's a hospital emergency room right in your town, go right there. Go right there. Especially if it's something, if you're below 50% that is service connected, go right to that emergency room. Contact the VA and the hospital when you give them your ID card. Should be contacting the VA anyway as soon as you arrive there and give them the ID card, because they're going to call to verify. So they know what you are, where you are. All right. Now, for those of you who are just healthcare only, I don't know how you set up your healthcare with the Department of Veterans Affairs. I know that if you're making a large sum of money, you obviously going to have a deductible you got to pay. If you are below the poverty line, obviously you're not going to be paying anything. But I just want to make that clear, because there are people out there that do not know this, that you can get care at any hospital when it is a true emergency. And don't worry about getting to the Department of Veterans Affairs. Once you check in and you contact the VA, they're going to send an ambulance to get you and take you to a Department of Veterans Affairs. Now, if you have TRICARE, you have Medicare, you got both, or you just have one of the other, they're going to be billed first. The Department of Veterans Affairs is going to be billed last. If you don't have any of it and you only have VA, your only care is Department of Veterans Affairs, you should receive no bill. None. Okay? It sounds crazy that like you should have Obamacare or something. No, you don't. You don't have to have any of it, right? Because the Department of Veterans Affairs is your health care. That ID card that you walk around with, the medical ID card, that is your health care card, okay? Always have that on you, especially those of you who always have medical emergencies. Make sure you keep that card on you at all times, in your car, in your wallet. Your significant other has it, whoever, make sure you have it. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. Hey, I appreciate everybody watching as always. And until the next time, guys, I'm out of here. Peace. Enjoy the rest of your day.